I know it's still relatively early. It's 9 starts, but it's the best 9 starts to begin a major league career that we've seen.
Ken, have you ever laughed on national television?
Many times. And I'm just happy to be on the show after AJ's wonderful introduction there. Thanks for having
Wow.
me. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
You're well rested, Ken, because you didn't have to work on Saturday
He's
night
so
while some
mad
of us
about
are
it.
grinding away.
AJ, what would you like me to do about that? Walk up to the rain clouds? You know I'm down pretty low, as you've mentioned many times before.
Yes, walk up, find a ladder, climb the clouds, and say, stop.
All right, let's get to biz.
All right, let's get with it, Scott. Let's get on with it.
You wrote about Bobby Witt Jr., Gunnar Henderson, and more as we start to talk about the All-Star game. Yes, we're in mid-May, so let's start talking about it. Give us a little synopsis of what you wrote about.
Well, it just occurred to me the other day that, man, these two guys are really good and they're really young. And we're looking at players who, for the next 10 years or more, could be just fixtures in our sport, among the best players in the game. And I just wanted to ask people, well, who do you think is better? And I started with that premise. And the All-Star game kind of was a leaping off point, simply because one of them will be voted, I would expect, to the All-Star team, the starter, and the other one will be a reserve. But you never know what happens in the voting. And what I did yesterday was I sent out text to a number of people in the game, players, coaches, managers, just asking which of the three they preferred. I included Anthony Volpe because at the time, Anthony Volpe was 12th in F-WAR. And I know WAR is not the end-all, be-all, but he was up there too. And I thought, okay, maybe some people would want to include him in the conversation. What I got back was it's Henderson and Witt and Henderson. These guys are very different players in certain respects, but at the same time, two of the best right now in the game, ranking in the top 5 in WAR. So that was what I wanted to write about. It's just interesting to me that we have a number of great young shortstops in the game right now, headed by those two. But also you can look at Ellie De La Cruz, Ezekiel Tovar, Mason Wynn. I can go right down the line. O'Neal Cruz. There are a number of under 25 players, 25 and under players, I should say, who are making impacts with their teams. CJ Abrams is another one. So that was the launching off point. If you guys remember, we've had a number of times in the game's recent history when there has been a wave of shortstops, 15 and 16, when Seager and Correa were starting to come. Then you go back to the late 90s, A-Rod, Jeter, Nomar. So this is a cool time in the game's evolution, and we've got this next wave coming, and it's pretty darn good.
Is it as good? I know we've seen the other careers. Are they starting out as good as those other guys, or was it more the names and they were going with A-Rod with MVPs and Jeter into the playoffs? Do we need to see more before we can say, it's like that group?
Well, I don't know that we can say they're at the level of those players just yet, but Gunnar Henderson was Rookie of the Year last year. Bobby Witt Jr. did something that has never been done before. First 2 seasons, 20 homers and 30 stolen bases in each of them. So they are making their own mark in the game. Both of them are. And it's hard to compare always. You guys know this. But at the same time, these guys are in an exalted place right now in our sport. And it's really cool to see. Gunnar Henderson's leading the majors in home runs with 16. And this guy, there was talk of moving him off of shortstop. Remember, for Jackson Holliday. This was a while back. But it was thought, maybe he'd be at third base, Holliday at short. I don't know if that's going to happen. It seems to me Gunnar Henderson will be the guy at short for the Orioles for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it's a good call. Do you feel
He's pretty good, by the way, just saying.
Gunnar? Yeah. I mean, he's got a home run per day right now. And actually, I was going to ask, just to double up on that, Ken, do you feel like the Orioles should get more credit for what they've put together right now? Because Gunnar Henderson was not a first-round pick. I know he was, a second-round pick. But it's not like they just got number 1 picks for 5-6 years in a row. They did tank. They did that classic tear it all down, pick towards the top of the draft for a while. But this all had to hit. And he's one of the examples of them finding, like, quote, a gem, a guy who should have been a 1-1 if we look back now.
That's true, Scott. Now, for the most part, they've hit on the first rounders. And that is the key to what is going on right now. I'm talking about Adley Rutschman, Jordan Westburg, Colton Cowser, Heston Kjerstad is currently in the minors. These guys were all number one or first round picks, I should say. So they've done a great job with those guys, and they had Grayson Rodriguez left over from the previous regime. It's been impressive to see what they've done, because even if you say, well, they've just hit on their first rounders, not every team does that. We've seen that. So they had high picks. They tanked to get there. We all know that. We've talked about it quite a bit. But at the same time, they've drafted well, they've developed well, and clearly they've transitioned these guys to the major leagues well. And that's why they are where they are right now. And it's really impressive to see this.
Not debating if the Pirates' 1-1 pick in Paul Skenes is going to push them to the playoffs right now. What kind of impact is just his entire journey this year, including his last 2 starts in the big leagues, going to have on other teams, how they move forward? Because he was ready. He was clearly ready. He dominated AAA. They didn't call him up. Pitch count, service time manipulation, all that stuff. What kind of impact? Because I think his impact on the game right now is phenomenal based on how other teams are going to handle their prospects.
I would agree with that, Eric. And the Pirates' rationale was, we want to build him up slowly, and we want to do it in the minor leagues where there's less intensity. And that was the route that they chose. Clearly, the way Skenes has come out of the gate here, it looks like he could have been here a lot sooner. I don't know that I can fault the Pirates for this. They're trying to be careful. They're trying to protect this guy. Did service time play into it? I would bet it did. They would deny that, of course. But as we've seen under the current collective bargaining agreement, the one thing that really has had a positive effect is that rule, or the idea that was put in about, if you are a top 100 prospect, I believe it is, top 100 prospect on a multiple list, a consensus top 100, you start the season on opening day and you win a major award like Gunnar Henderson did last year, your team gets an extra pick. That has, to some degree, discouraged some of the shenanigans that took place earlier. Actually, quite a bit, I believe it's discouraged that. So that's been a positive development for the game. Now, if you're the Pirates, you could say, well, we can bring Skenes in right away and maybe get that extra pick. But they felt, and I'm not going to criticize them for this at this point, the way injuries have plagued our game, they felt that it was best just to go slowly. I know John Smoltz has said on our air in Fox that, hey, why not bring him up earlier? And a lot of people believe that. It was silly, right? You're wasting innings down there. They're still innings, but they're not as stressful. So that is the route they chose. We've seen other players, position players in particular, start the season right away with their teams, and it's worked out. So I don't know that this has a particular effect. Skenes, to me, seems to be almost a unicorn in so many ways. I don't know that it will change the way other teams think about their number one guy going forward.
Ken, Skenes was the first overall pick in the draft just last year. And you said the word, which I don't know has ever been used on here before, shenanigans. So Shota Imanaga, he's got some shenanigans, and they're awesome. From his interviews to what he does in the mound when he bows to the umpire when they throw him a new ball. What kind of impact has he had? And he's the best pitcher not only in the NL Central, but in the National League. And could he win a Cy Young? Because he has been unbelievable for the Cubs.
If he continues at this rate, AJ, he's the Cy Young winner. There's no question about that. And he has saved the Cubs. Remember, they had all of these injuries early. Seiya Suzuki, Justin Steele, Bellinger right down the line. And then lately they've been without Horner and Swanson, and they lost Wicks. So they've needed this kind of performance to kind of stabilize them during this turbulent time, which has also included Kyle Hendricks kind of having his difficulties. So Imanaga has been a total revelation. And we've been working on something at The Athletic. It'll be coming out soon, talking to people about, well, why did this guy only get $53 million and Yamamoto get $325? I know Yamamoto's 25 years old while Imanaga is 30, but my goodness, Imanaga seems like he is the steal of the free agent class right now. I know it's still relatively early. It's 9 starts, but it's the best 9 starts to begin a major league career that we've seen. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he does, AJ, the rest of the summer and into the fall, how he holds up. But man, it's been awesome to watch this guy pitch, and he is a lot of fun. I wouldn't call what he does shenanigans. I would call it just some cool things that he does. Shenanigans are a negative to me. He doesn't do shenanigans.
He is pure entertainment with the heater and the splitter and the mannerisms on the mound. And I look forward to his post-game interviews because he usually drops something funny. So he's got tons of personality. All right, so Ken, we appreciate the time. I'll see if we can say bye to you in a nicer way. AJ, do you want to say bye to Ken?
Yeah, Ken, rest up because you might actually have to go on the air on Saturday.
Can you say,
so
Ken?
Rest up, Ken.
Can you say, Ken?
Actually,
you're the best?
AJ, rain is in the forecast this weekend in Cincinnati.
Can you give him a Ken, you're the best? Give him something nice, a Ken, you're the best?
Yeah, he's the best at rain delays, apparently.
All right. We tried.
He started off with an expletive, so, we'll just end it right there.
Yeah, because I was in the middle of something, and I got Claudia. I'm learning from Scott. I do what I want.
I'm going to give the whole world a clue. We might be able to limit the expletive soon. That's all I'm going to say. Ken, thank you very much for catching on.
I can't wait, Scott.
Yes. We'll see you on Fair Territory on Thursday, all right? This show, Foul Territory, is hosted by all former major leaguers plus me just trying to keep up with these guys, right? So we are into daily health, energy, gut health, the whole deal. Pretty obvious. So we want to talk about AG1. I first gave AG1 a try because a friend recommended it to me a while back, and it's helped me on many levels. Focus, stress, gut health, big one for me. I'm also allergic to gluten and dairy, and this covers both categories there. So make sure you take ownership of your health by visiting drinkag1.com/foul. But I'm not the only one. Because this on the desk here right now, and I've been on the road a lot, so I've got my travel packets. Mr. Kratz is drinking AG1 as well.
Dude, the travel packets are a game changer. Just this weekend, we took it to Kansas City. You're in a hotel. They're not like all of it. Like, yes, you can find the juice places, but it's nothing like what's in these packs. Mm-hmm. For me, like just the energy that I have, and I just feel more alert because I don't drink energy drinks.
Yep.
And it's great. It is awesome. Obviously at home it's awesome, but the travel packs are the real G.
Listen, I know I'm 37. I know I look great, but I'm looking out. I'm checking the mail for my packets. I'm checking the mail for my packets, Kratzy.
This is what happens. You recommend to a family or friend. So we got you then, okay? So you replace your multivitamin just with AG1. You don't need, to fill up your shelf. Just it's one packet, or obviously you have the tub and one scoop, which includes prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes for gut support. And yes, you can recommend it to friends, formulated based on the latest science and maintains high quality standards if you're of age. It's kind of one size fits all, which is great. So it's a foundational nutritional supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. And if there's one product we would recommend to elevate your health, it is AG1. So we're excited to welcome them as a new partner to the FT fam. So if you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/foul, F-O-U-L. That's drinkag1.com/foul. Go check it out.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.